Good morning and welcome to All Abilities Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Deb and my goal is to encourage and inspire you to live your dream life in spite of any physical limitations you may encounter. I've been in a wheelchair for over 25 years now, but I still lead a normal, happy, productive life, and I hope to show tips and ideas on how you can adapt to be able to do anything you want to do. These are my grandsons, and follow us as we share this journey. Okay, today I am going to let you in on a little secret. I'm making deviled eggs and tuna salad and egg salad. But first I'm going to start by getting hard-boiled eggs, but they're not going to be boiled. I'm going to warn you right now, don't let anybody in your family know the secret unless you want to be the one making deviled eggs for every family gathering for the rest of your life. I'm doing it in a pressure cooker, and I'm not adding anything other than a little bit of water to get it up to pressure. 6 minutes in the pressure cooker, quick release, and the shells will just slide right off. Doesn't matter the age of the eggs. It doesn't matter if they're old eggs or new eggs or fresh from the chicken. None of that matters. So I'm just putting my eggs in. I've got a little basket in here. I'm putting my eggs in carefully into the basket. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do a dozen. Okay, so that's all 12 of my eggs in there. I'm putting a half a cup of water, no other additives, no vinegar, none of the old wives' tales, just a half a cup of water. Pour it in. I put my pressure lid on, make sure that the valve is closed, and pressure. My time, it defaults to 10, I'm moving it down to 6 and hitting start. And then I roll away and go do something else while it does that. When it goes off, I will quick release, which just means I'll move that off of closed to open to let the steam off quickly. And I'll put it in the sink and run cold water on them to cool them down a little bit quicker. So I'll come back in just a little bit when we get ready to peel the eggs. Okay, my timer has gone off. Now I'm going to, let's see, can we see that? I'm going to flip it over here to take the pressure off. Once the little button has gone down, I know it's safe. And I lift, turn it away from you so that you don't get that steam all over. And you'll see, oops, looks like I had one explode. My handle is silicone, so it's not too bad. I can carry it. So there are my eggs. I have a reacher. Let's see, can we get that? That I use for a whole lot of things in the house. Trying to do this one-handed is not fun. Okay. Okay, so now I'm letting water run on my eggs to cool them down quickly, and we'll come back in a few minutes and I will show you how they peel. Okay, I had a little mishap. My tripod got knocked over and broke, so I'm having to improvise here, and we'll hope the video turns out okay. I have run cold water over my eggs, and they're cool enough to handle, but they're not cold by any means. They're still hot. And I'm just gonna roll it on my dish towel in order to kind of break it up, and then they pop right out. Okay? So there is one egg done. And I will show you. Put it over here on a cutting board and just cut down. Perfectly done on the inside. And generally what I do is I go ahead and do a dozen eggs, and then if I have some that just don't cut pretty or won't make good deviled eggs, they get chopped up and made into tuna salad and or egg salad. We like to do egg salad on toast for breakfast, but I'll do a few more just to show you that. There we go. And I'm just rolling it to loosen. And once you get the first little chunk off, yeah. I didn't roll this one hard enough, but it's still, I'm not having to work at it, I'm just having to get a hold of it. Okay, another egg done. Okay, another perfect egg. I'm tapping it on the table because it's harder than this dish towel is, just to get it started cracking. And then I will just take this dish towel when it's all full of the eggshells and shake it out over the trash can. Okay, that one slid off. Oop, I'm trying to roll on me. So I can go through this whole dozen eggs, and every one just slides right off without tearing up your egg. Okay, another perfect egg. Oops, that one just popped out without even doing anything as soon as I started to roll it. Okay, another one's just gonna pop out. Now again, you don't want to tell people that it's this easy unless you want to get stuck making deviled eggs every time. Because once I showed my family that it was this easy, instead of telling them they could do the eggs, they decided that they just let me do it every time. I will rinse these before I get cutting and using them, because there's little bits of shell that are just, they'll rinse right off. They're not really stuck, they're just there. Okay, that one just slid right out. Okay, I'm just going to pop that one out of the shell. Another one perfectly done. And I did nothing but put them in the pressure cooker with a half a cup of water to build up the steam. I let them go for 6 minutes, and then I did a quick release. Okay, this one exploded in the cooker, so obviously I'm not using it, but see, the shell's still just falling right off. So it's weird looking, and I might chop it up and throw it in tuna salad. It's fine. But so now, every one of these eggs, other than the one that split, is perfect. They just need to be rinsed off. So I'm putting them back in my colander, and I will rinse the extra little bits of shell off. But no vinegar, nothing else added in the water. Didn't even look at what the age of the eggs were. They could have been a month old, or they could have been laid last week. So all of the things that people tell you that you have to do, I'm telling you, it's this easy. Just use your Instapot or Ninja. Mine's a Ninja Foodie, but any type of pot that will build up pressure. It's 6 minutes of pressure, quick release, get the pressure off, and they pop out of the shell that easily. So I'll come back in a few minutes and I'll show you what I make out of them. And this is the point where everyone came home from school and started making noise. So I've had to mute this section. And just do a voiceover later. Obviously, I'm going through and I'm cutting all of the eggs and popping out the yolks into the bowl. It moves along pretty quickly. I cut mine from the point down to the bottom, and I'm not really sure why I do that. I just always have. How do you cut your eggs? Have you ever paid attention? I don't do anything really fancy. I mean, sometimes if I'm taking the eggs to somebody else's house, I'll use a piping bag and a tip and squirt it in there to where they look pretty. But if I'm just making them for around the house, I know that they're going to be gone within 2 days. So I don't put a whole lot of work into making them extra, I guess. Picking off a little bit of shell that was still there, and that little bit of membrane that somehow doesn't always come completely off. So I have the bowl to one side, I'm popping the yolk in there, and I have the little tray to the other side that I'm putting all the shells in. I'm sorry my screen is narrow right now to where you can't see it all. Hopefully I'll get that all fixed before the next video that I make. I'm not sure how I knocked my tripod over, but when I did, it busted the leg off. So now I'm having to kind of prop things up and make it work. In this batch, I am using a bottle of tartar sauce, because if you read the ingredients on tartar sauce, it's just mayonnaise and some vinegar and some dill pickle relish. So it has all the ingredients I was going to put in anyway, and I'm needing to use up that bottle because it's getting close to the expiration date. And then I put a big glop of mustard in. I don't really measure these things. I just kind of put them in there and stir it and taste it and see if it needs something else. And I'm mashing all the yolks against the edge of the bowl in order to break them all up. just using a basic fork for it, no special equipment. I have a grandson standing over my shoulder nagging me, wanting to know when they're going to be done because he's hungry and he wants an after-school snack. But if deviled eggs are an option, he's going to wait for that. So once I've got them all mashed up really good and all the mustard and mayonnaise incorporated, then I will start filling them. And I just use my fork and a butter knife. This one is, I'm just putting a little bit in one of the thin shells just so I can taste it and see if it needs anything else. You always want to taste it before you do all the work of stuffing the shells, just in case it needs something extra. So there's my shells. Now I'm giving it a little bit of salt and pepper. These are my little Blue's Clues salt and pepper shakers. I have to be careful where I set them down or they disappear with the 3-year-old. He takes off. He thinks they're his toys, but they're not. Paprika was empty today, so she didn't get to come out and play. But my daughter did decide later that deviled eggs just aren't the same without paprika, so she ran to the store and got some more paprika. And this is how I fill them when I'm just doing it for around the house. I just get a big glop on my fork, and I use the knife to kind of push it down into the shells. Tap it down into place so that it's not falling out. And I just try and divide evenly between all the shells. There will be some left over in the bowl because when I added all the extra ingredients, it ends up being more than what came out of the shells. So then, since I'm already dirtying the bowl once for mixing all that up, I just go ahead and use the same bowl to be able to make tuna salad in also. So nothing gets wasted. I could have, if I felt like dealing with it today, I could have put those eggshells in the oven and toasted them a little bit and then finished crushing them up more and added them to the garden or compost or even fed them to the chickens. But right now, since I've only been here since this spring, I didn't get a chance to put a garden in and I don't have anything else going on. I don't have chickens at this time, so I just ended up putting them in the trash. Okay, so now Jerry's back and he's wanting his taste of them and to give me his opinion. And then that's what's left in the bowl, so I add some tuna to it and mix it all up. At this point, I have a cat starting to come check things out. The can opener always seems to attract the cat. So I mix it in there really good. I decided it needed some bigger chunks of pickle, but this jar is not going to open for me. I used to have a really great jar opener that was I think it was Black & Decker, and it was a can opener and it was a jar opener, but it eventually burnt out on me and I can't find another one to replace it with. So now I just have to ask for help, which is not my favorite thing to do, but I guess it makes my son-in-law feel needed. So this one jar had a little bit of pickle left in it. I just used up what was in there just to give a little more crunch to the tuna salad. I would have added onion if I didn't have people around noticing, but I would have heard about it if I tried to add onion when they could see it. Sometimes I add a little celery, just gives it a little extra crunch. And then I'm packaging that up for the refrigerator. It'll get eaten for lunches in the next few days. Or if anybody doesn't like what I'm fixing for dinner, that's their option. If they don't want to eat what I fix, they can have a sandwich. And there you have it. Have a blessed day.